went to see Rishi Sunak, British Prime Minister, and in their readout of your meeting, it spoke about the desire to save Israeli democracy. Curiously, in yours, I'll read the exact wording, it said the importance of upholding the democratic values that underpin our relationship, including in the proposed judicial reforms in Israel. But in the statement from your office, didn't mention that. Why?
Well, because we spoke for about an hour, and the Prime Minister indeed raised that issue. Prime Minister Rishi, it was there's a debate in my team whether it was 45 seconds or 47 seconds out of the hour. So yes, he did raise it. You're quite right. I don't deny it, but I think it's become a perfunctory thing. You sort of have to say it because people are pressing. There are BDS people that are pressing it. It's become a political hot potato in Israel. So the opponents have their supporters here, and they're pressing on the various governments. I understand that. And look, people don't necessarily get into the details of it, but I do.
But the American president has also said the same thing, Joe Biden.
Yes.
He's also said that to you.
Yeah, sure. I spoke to him the other day on the phone. But
and what did he say to you?
Well, first of all, we spoke about Iran, as you could
Of course,
imagine.
and I'll come to that.
And a lot. But he raised that, and I assured him what I assured you, that Israel is and will remain a democracy.
It's a worrying time for Israel with America because for the first time in polling history, a majority of Democrats in America now have more sympathy for Palestinians than they do for Israelis. There's been an 11-point swing in the last year alone. That must concern you. And what also must concern you, more people aged 18 to 29 now view more sympathy with Palestinians than they do Israelis. What's your response to that?
Well, I think I've looked at other polls, but you can never deny that the alliance between Israel and America takes the majority of Americans to support Israel. And they do. They do consistently.
But that's got to concern you, hasn't it, that poll?
You look at it and you say one thing. America's changing not vis-a-vis Israel. America's changing vis-a-vis America.
But one of the reasons
and you've often said that.
Well, yeah.
Yes, but America's changing vis-a-vis America, and therefore it changes vis-a-vis Israel. But I think the main bulk of the American public, by the way, across the political spectrum, a wide berth of the political spectrum, support Israel because they see Israel as representing the values.
Right, but not Democrat supporters and nor the young ones, 18 to 29.
Well, there's a question of where that goes and whether this pendulum doesn't swing back,
One of the reasons is they cite, a lot of them apparently, your very close relationship with Donald Trump. They think that you really pivoted to him. You described him as the greatest friend Israel's ever had in the White House.
I said Israel had no greater friend in the White House. That's true, because he did some very good things. He moved the embassy to Jerusalem, recognized Jerusalem as our capital, recognized our sovereignty in the Golan Heights, and went out of this disastrous Iran deal, nuclear deal that would have paved Iran's path with gold to nuclear weapons. So yes, I appreciate it. But I always approach American presidents, whether it's
Did you take
Donald
sides
Trump.
too much with Trump?
Not at all. I never took sides.
Did you
with
align
anyone.
yourself too much?
I didn't align myself with anyone. I didn't come in as a Republican or a Democrat. I came in as an Israeli. And I have close friends among both sides of the aisle. Joe Biden, with whom I often disagree. By the way, I disagreed with Trump too. I tried to tell him we should go to...
Well, he wasn't happy when you tweeted your congratulations to President Biden on winning the election.
Maybe not. But what I...
Well, he was extremely... If you don't mind me, I don't want to use a profanity in front of you, but he was heard on tape saying that it was the ultimate betrayal. He hadn't spoken to you since, and bleep him, he said about you. He then added, Bibi is Bibi. Bibi didn't want to make peace, never did.
Right. Well, I did, actually. With his help, we made a breakthrough peace, the Abraham Accords with 4 Arab states. It's a turning point in history. And if I came back, it's to do 2 things. Came back into office because, as you know, it's not walking in a rose garden to be the Prime Minister of Israel at any time, and especially this time. The reason I came back is to do 2 things. 1, block Iran's quest for nuclear weapons that aims to destroy my country and threaten every other country. And the second thing is to expand the historic Abraham Accords, the peace accords, and end the Arab-Israeli conflict. And I believe that I can do both. And that's what I'm here for. But look, I've dealt with presidents.
Have you spoken to Donald Trump since that?
He wrote me a note.
What did he say?
He congratulated me on my victory.
Did he?
Yeah.
So have you made peace? Have you spoken on the phone?
I never made war.
I mean, he might be back in the White House.
I've always, look, I have to tell you, Joe Biden has been a personal friend for over 40 years, and I've disagreed with him. Donald Trump has been a great friend, and I've often disagreed with him. Not often, but sometimes. And the same happened with other American presidents. I represent the people of Israel, a people who, for 3,000 years, actually 3,500 years, is trying to survive and revive itself in our ancient homeland, and we did. It doesn't go without problems, as you can see. It doesn't go without debate. Israel is fiercely democratic, fierce debates. But I believe that my mission is to assure that Israel is sufficiently strong militarily, economically, diplomatically, to defend itself against the likes of Iran.
How did you feel when
they want to wipe us off the planet?
I'm going to come to Iran in one moment. How did you feel about Donald Trump having dinner with Kanye West and the white supremacist Nick Fuentes?
That was horrible.
Two people who spewed a lot of anti-Semitic
I thought
stuff.
it was horrible, and I said so. I think it's a big mistake. It's wrong. It's wrong from every point of view.
How damaging is it when someone with Kanye West's following suddenly seems to go rogue anti-Semitic in the way that he did?
My father was a great historian and a historian of anti-Semitism. It goes back about 2,500 years as a sort of a doctrine that keeps changing. But basically, people say there's trouble in the world, I want to blame the Jews. We have a setback here or a setback there, blame the Jews. The communists say the Jews are the capitalists say the Jews are the communists, blame the Jews. So, you know, that's a deep-seated pattern. It should not be countenanced, it should not be accepted, it should be rebuked and condemned, and that's what I do. And I don't care where it comes from or from whom.